Welcome to SVG-TV's news for Thursday, September 12, 2024. I'm Triska Campbell with the details. St. Vincent and the Grenadines Meteorological Service has recorded an inch of rainfall within the last 12 hours at its Jennings stations, while others recorded half an inch of rainfall. This as the country is experiencing a tropical wave, bringing with it heavy downpours. Meteorologists with the SVG Met Service, Desiree Neveson-Jack, have said persons can expect another inch of rainfall within the next 12 hours.
Within the last 12 hours, 14 millimeters of rainfall was recorded at the Argyle International Airport, with similar amounts in Convent and Annisville. Roughly 30 millimeters of rainfall was recorded at Jennings. An additional inch could be expected by Friday afternoon. There is a high chance of scattered showers and thunderstorms tonight into early Friday as a tropical wave affects the islands.
With heavy showers forecasted tonight into tomorrow, Neveson-Jack is asking that persons take the necessary precautions.
We are urging all residents and motorists in areas prone to flooding and landslides on near rivers and streams to exercise caution. Light winds will be blowing generally from the southeast, and seas are forecast to be slight to moderate in open waters, with swells peaking at 1.0 meters on the western coast and 1.5 meters on the eastern coast.
In its 72-hour outlook, the SVG Meteorological Service said the weak and stable conditions are expected to linger across SVG over the weekend. The Ministry of Health has reported a slight decrease in cases of dengue fever over the last week. However, the ministry says it remains on the alert for the growing public health threats. According to the ministry, there were 88 reported cases of dengue fever, with 4 hospitalizations and 2 reported deaths. The ministry says it has ramped up measures to deal with the issue, including increasing the number of vector control officers and increased fogging in communities across the country. The ministry continues to encourage Vincentians to take all the necessary precautions to reduce the breeding and the spread of the Aedes aegypti mosquito, which is the vector for dengue. This can be done by removing stagnant water from your premises, covering drums or containers where water is stored, dispose of all unwanted articles such as tires, which can collect water and become mosquito breeding grounds. Cut down and remove all bush or undergrowth that can harbor mosquitoes, and clear drains and gutterings to allow for the free flow of water. It has now been over a month since Parliament passed a supplementary budget aimed at ensuring income support for persons affected by Hurricane Beryl. On NBC Radio's face-to-face program on Wednesday, Prime Minister Dr. Ralph Gonsalves urged workers at the Ministry of National Mobilization, Tourism and Agriculture to expedite the process of finalizing the list of persons eligible for the income support. The Prime Minister acknowledged that processing names could be time-consuming, as proper verification is crucial.
Public servants to be hearing me now. I'm awaiting. I know you're working hard, but I want you to redouble this work for me, please. There's nearly 5,000 households in Ojanipi. I want to take a person out of the household to give some assistance. But we need all the names and the screening the names, because the cabinet has to approve all the names. As far as possible, to get the ID card number, people lose their ID card. You get a slip from the electoral office, because for payment, you need it.
The income support will vary according to the household needs. Farmers, fishermen, and persons in the tourism sector will also benefit from this support. Payments will be made through the banks. However, the Prime Minister announced on Wednesday that those in the tourism sector are likely to receive payments through the National Insurance Service, the NIS.
Do options $500, $600, $700 a month to see what the total number will be. I want the same thing for farmers, fisher folk, farm workers. I want the same thing from workers who have been affected in tourism. For instance, those who have been affected in tourism, it's going to be fairly easy. Once we get those, more than likely they would have been paying NIS. So I could pay them, I could give NIS a lump sum of money and let them pay them. It's like a kind of unemployment benefit now, but it's not in the NIS menu of products. Part of the reforms, we will get to that.
In the supplementary budget, $12 million was allocated for income support, including for farmers and fishers. An additional $8 million was allocated specifically for hospitality workers, particularly in the Grenadines. As the hunting season for mammals, reptiles, and birds approaches, the Forestry Department in the Ministry of Agriculture, Forestry and Fisheries is appealing to the members of the public to refrain from hunting on the Grenadine Islands, which were severely affected by the passage of Category 4 Hurricane Beryl. Forestry Supervisor Glenroy Games made the appeal on NBC Radio's Talkie Talk program on Tuesday. The hunting season is set to run from October 1st to December 31st, 2024. However, Games noted that due to the reduction of certain species in what are considered vulnerable areas such as the Grenadines, it is likely the season will have to be shortened.
It asks us, so what are we going to do about it? That is something that I'm not at liberty to speak about in depth. But at least the Forest Department is contemplating on closing the hunting season in the Grenadines, just for the protection of that endemic species more than anything else. I know it might be a harsh decision, but we have to do something in order for us to protect that species. All forestry officers have the powers of arrest, that's number one. And all forestry officers are wildlife officers. So it's not like I might be the supervisor, but I can call on anyone. In fact, I can call on a citizen and deputize that citizen to assist us to arrest anybody found in contravening any of the forestry laws.
The forestry supervisor stressed the importance of preserving these species, noting not only for maintaining the ecosystem, but also for supporting tourism.
Species that we're trying to protect could one day, or is already being done, assisting us with our tourism trust, because a lot of the tourists come to St. Vincent and the Grenadines not for the sea and sun, because everybody else have the sea and sun. They want to see the endemic species and will pay significantly to see them. So if we continue to destroy them, we are only putting food out of our own mouths. So I'm asking people, to general public, just to continue to bear with us and assist us in protecting these species and not hunting them out of the season, and also complying with our requests when we make such requests of you. Thank you very much.
All right.
Games added that the Forestry Department continues to monitor the situation closely and urge members of the public to cooperate in protecting the fragile wildlife on the islands. Social media continues to be a double-edged sword in today's world, offering both benefits and challenges. This is according to health psychologist Dr. Giselle Miller, who in an interview with SVG-TV News pointed out that social media has become a powerful tool for educating and raising awareness on a range of issues, including suicide prevention. However, Dr. Miller noted that many users fall into the trap of comparing their lives to the lifestyles displayed online. She explained that this illusion of an ideal life, often presented by influencers and some peers, can create unrealistic expectations.
A lot of persons comparing themselves to others, be it celebrities or whomever, which then would allow them to be at a place where they may have low self-esteem, low self-confidence, if they feel that their lives do not measure up to what seems to be the pinnacle that is placed on social media. We also see where on social media persons are cyberbullying, persons are creating fake accounts and all of these things so that they can lash out and harass other persons. Social media also causes persons, though they are connected virtually, there's a level of isolation that takes place when persons are just on their devices and they're not really communicating face-to-face and interacting on that human level. So now everything is through a device, and that in itself has its own implications for persons, whether you want to say persons are going into themselves, so they're internalizing a lot, and so they may not necessarily get the help that they need at the right time.
For individuals feeling hopeless or experiencing suicidal thoughts, Dr. Miller emphasized the importance of seeking help rather than withdrawing into isolation.
It's best to be around people. We always suggest positive self-care, things like exercise, getting adequate rest, eating nutritious meals, being in the sunshine. All of these things help in terms of lifting your mood and also help with overall mental wellness. It's important to filter a lot of the things that you're taking in, because when persons are feeling a sense of sadness, depression, or hopelessness, you feed that sometimes by a lot of the things that you will take in, even on social media, where you might, some of the music and all of these things. So you have to now make sure that you are taking in positive messages.
Dr. Miller also noted that alcohol consumption and drug use can worsen a situation. The health psychologist advised people to avoid impulse actions and reach out for support.
It's important as well that you are able to affirm yourself, and it might be difficult based on the level that you're at, but at the same time, it is always good to tap into those things that help in the moment to make you feel good. And once you're able to do that, then the next step will be for you to get external professional help where necessary. Try to avoid things like alcohol and drugs, and anything that will be counterproductive, anything that will make the situation worse. You want to try to avoid impulsive actions as well, and again, lean on the person, the support system that you have around you. And if you feel that you do not have anyone around you that you can trust, then tap into the professional space where you have psychologists, counselors, your pastor, whomever. Once the person is trained in terms of psychology and counseling, then that would be a good place to start to have a conversation.
Suicide is a major public health challenge with more than 700,000 deaths each year globally. World Suicide Prevention Day was observed on Tuesday, September 10th, 2024. The torrential theme for the World Suicide Prevention Day 2024 to 2026 is changing the narrative on suicide. With a call to action, start the conversation. This theme aims to raise awareness about the importance of reducing the stigma and encouraging open conversations to prevent suicides. Deputy Principal of the Sandy Bay Secondary School, Raquel Foster Warwick, says that while the technology is beneficial for teaching and learning, it can also be a distraction for students during their examination preparations. In a recent telephone interview with SVG-TV News, Warwick emphasized the important role that parents and teachers play in guiding students through this challenge.
Yes, it's a distractor, but that's where parents and even the teachers within the classes have an important role to play in order to understand and show these children how to balance their time and to really decide personally what is really of importance to me and to my life at this time. We really need to guide them to make better choices.
Business and social skills are being incorporated into the curriculum of the Division of Adult and Continuing Education as the departments recognize the need to teach these skills due to the growing number of individuals venturing into entrepreneurship. At a news conference on Tuesday, business skills instructor Colleen Thomas said that the program they offer covers a wide range of topics.
The curriculum is expected to be implemented as a core component of all skills training programs executed by the department throughout St. Vincent and the Grenadines. So our job takes us all over, from fancy right down to the Grenadines. And this also includes Camden Park Technical, where I do the entrepreneurship, and we also do business and social skills at the prisons. It is envisioned that this curriculum will strengthen the capacity of the instructors to provide high quality, culturally relevant, gender and ethnic sensitive experiences using a skills-based and performance-based approach. In this way, participants will in turn be exposed to knowledge, skills, attitudes, and values to help make positive choices towards healthy and productive lifestyles, demonstrating social action to support their own holistic development and growth of society in a positive direction.
Thomas expressed the hope that the skills taught will extend beyond the classroom, helping to develop well-rounded individuals who can have a lasting impact on the country.
Life skills are those skills and attendant knowledge which help every individual to nurture him or her and others in a positive manner, and thus essential for both the individual and the society of which he or she is important or plays an important part. It is the attitude of and endeavors of individual upon which the integrity, happiness, and advancement of society exists, whether it's in the home, the school, the community, or the workplace. Ultimately, this impacts the whole nation and how it is perceived regionally and internationally.
She added that the business and social skills will also help individuals become more employable.
There is an opportunity for transformation. The potential exists for nobility, integrity, harmony and cooperation, knowledge, creativity and efficiency, courtesy and kindness amongst all of our citizens. The positive attitudes and habits that are expected to be inculcated will ensure fewer challenges in relationships and better functioning in every sphere of human endeavor. These qualities or virtues will enhance the ability to attract like-minded friends or companions and gain meaningful employment. They will also enable relationships and employment to be maintained. Effective implementation of this program would thus be a direct investment in our nation's human capital and its quality of life.
Two senior officers with the SVG Coast Guard Service have expressed their satisfaction with the performance of female trainees who recently participated in a 2-week basic electrical and mechanical engineering course. Petty officers Renrick Gibson and Darren Robinson, who were guests on WeFM's Cop Chat program, said the female trainees demonstrated a high level of determination and motivation during the training, which was conducted in August.
Females, because they were very inquisitive, asking questions, and they were forefront where the technical aspect of things comes in. And from the answer, I know that on the female, most likely would have topped the course, because whenever the material being delivered, sometimes petty officers delivering material and will walk around the class. And one thing I've noticed with the females is that they will take down every single details of notes, and that was commendable. And so I know that the female would have gave a top performance. And so that highlights for me is how much the females would have applied themselves.
How the students apply themselves, the females also, I was amazed by them because every time you check, when you're teaching and you check their book, they're taking notes. And that's one of the kudos I give to the female for tapping the course, because you just can't sit in a class and just be listening and you taking notes. And from that, I give OS John the kudos, because she applied herself. When the class is finished, she went over her stuff. Anything she don't understand, she came and asked instructors, and here being she is the top student on the course.
In other news, the Carnival Development Corporation will be holding its annual prize-giving ceremony on Wednesday, September 18th at the Victoria Park, commencing at 5 p.m. A news release from the CDC says the ceremony would hear addresses from the Minister of Tourism, Civil Aviation, Sustainable Development, Carlos James, and Culture, CDC officials and sponsors. The ceremony would see the distribution of trophies and prize monies won at the various competitions for Vinci Mas 2024.